Backing on goal, and Luongo hangs on. And let's go down to Scott Oak.
All right, Jim had a word with Blues assistant coach Brad Shaw on the intermission. One of the points he made was the Blues are a confident bunch after the first period, especially their young players, because they didn't see anything to suggest they can't play with the Canucks. He felt they competed and did more than just survive the first 20. Says what they must do better is somehow create more second chances and cut down on or eliminate the scrums after the whistles, because you never know who's getting the penalty.
Puck squirted loose here off to the draw, but the Blues are able to hold it in for a moment. TJ Oshie and Daniel Sedin go after the puck. Here's Andy McDonald, cross ice pass. Brad Boyes knocked it down into the slot. Good stick there by Willie Mitchell. Henrik Sedin to center, and Ryan Johnson exiting the penalty box had that puck just out of his reach. Here's Keith Tkachuk back to the attack. His pass didn't get by Sammy Salo. Second attempt to the front of the net, no harm done. There's a breakaway pass. Alex Burrows, oh, what a defensive play by Koliakovo. And then he slid head first into the goalpost, knocking it off. But Carlo Koliakovo made a sensational play on Alex Burrows and poked the puck to the corner and didn't take a penalty.
And for Burrows, he did a good job of trying to protect it and keep his legs moving. He came off the bench, and a good heads-up play by Daniel Sedin. Look at him try to protect it to the outside, but then as soon as he exposed it, Koliakovo with a good quick stick, got stick first and then trying to get up, went head first. And that's one where Koliakovo's history, Jim, of getting tough injuries, that's one that he just narrowly missed.
So back to 5-on-5 here again, but for how long the way this game has gone. St. Louis is now 0 for 4 on the power play and trailing 1-0 in the game. Alexander Edler for Vancouver. Advancing the puck. Here's Matt Sundin. Kessler going to the net. Dimitra coming up behind the centering pass. Kessler with a whack at it. Another one at the side of the net, and the puck is knocked loose. Cleared out to center by B.J. Compine. Shane O'Brien to Alexander Edler. And at center, Jackman stepped up. The defenseman intercepted. Now puts the puck on goal. Bobbled by Luongo with Jay McClement right there, and he hangs on.
Well, Jim, you think about a 6 versus 3, the inequity of that, but these are two of the hottest teams down the stretch. Both of them just caught fire. The St. Louis Blues, an incredible 15th in the Western Conference, moving themselves all the way up. They had the best second half of any team in the National Hockey League, but both of them come into the playoffs with a whole lot of confidence.
Carlo Koliakovo on the bench grimaced a bit, but he looks all right. St. Louis had the edge in faceoffs in the first period. And over the course of the season, they weren't close to Vancouver's record in the faceoff circle. Mason Raymond starts Vancouver's breakout. Rink wide for Bernier. He's held up and bumped by McKee, and Jay McKee's going to get a penalty. An interference call because the puck was already by, and it looked like he knew it, but he'd already engaged.
He had, and he tried to back off it, I think, Jim, and maybe even looked like he was a little off balance. As soon as you get that arm up and the puck's gone by, we've already seen the call earlier on Olin. So there is precedent there, and it took a little bit of a delay for Chris Lee to put his arm up, but I think even as you mentioned, Jay McKee knew he shouldn't have done it.
Vancouver had the 17th ranked power play over the course of the regular season, led by Kyle Wellwood with 10 power play goals. He's on this unit with Matt Sundin and Ryan Kessler. Edler and forward Pavel Dimitra, who plays the right point. Sundin's waved out. Wellwood comes in. 3 right-handed shots up front of this power play. Here's getting the draw. Jay McClement here. He takes the bulk of the faceoff for the St. Louis Blues and is one of their top penalty killers, and now he gets off after getting the draw. Backes and rookie Oshie. Mike Weaver and Barrett Jackman, the penalty killers. Sundin. Wellwood. Dimitra. Pass is almost intercepted, and Backes dives to make sure he gets the puck to center. Now the Canucks can't gain entry to the attacking zone. Dimitra. Oshie's right on him. Poked ahead to Kessler. Kyle Wellwood around the outside. Very impressive penalty killing by St. Louis, and they got the puck back.
And Jim, just another example of the faith Andy Murray has in his young players. I mean, Backes and Oshie getting a chance in a critical penalty kill to kill off the first part and doing a heck of a job.
Sedins are back on. Henrik has the puck. Steve Bernier is the third member of this forward line of the power play. Salo and Bieksa the point men. Kevin Bieksa wanted the puck, but he has to go back to the blue line to get it. Henrik Sedin into the middle of the ice, taken away by the Blues. And Jay McClement gets the puck out to center.
Yeah, this has been a good penalty kill by the Blues of being very aggressive. They just haven't allowed any time or space in the offensive zone for the Canucks.
Here's Henrik Sedin trying to feed Daniel. He got it back. Salo, Daniel Sedin, Henrik Sedin shot it out the other side. Salo pinched down, helped keep the puck in. Daniel Sedin kicked back to the blue line. Kevin Bieksa. Daniel Sedin had the puck skip away from him. Bernier goes after it. Henrik for Daniel Sedin. He settles the puck down. Turns away from Trombine. Henrik's stick just abandoned him. Daniel centering pass. Bernier couldn't get it. Salo shoots. He scores! Sammy Salo with a power play goal, 2-0 Vancouver.
And Jim, it was a broken stick by Henrik Sedin, but a good heads-up play. And you saw Salo there. Bernier got a piece of it in front, and Salo went right to him. Having that presence in front of the net, a good hard shot, and then just a little deflection as a frustrated Mason. If you look at the reaction of Mason after, he pumps his fist down. He thought he should have had it. Well, that's a great job of going to the net, keeping the play alive by Henrik and Daniel, and then not Salo, but Bernier going to the net and getting a piece of that one.
I think when we look at that even score, we'll see that it was Steve Bernier's goal, a deflection off the shot by Sammy Salo. Regardless, 2-0. Ryan Johnson. Arms up, another penalty coming. Another penalty to the St. Louis Blues. Willie Mitchell settles the puck down. Johnson's been knocked down by Keith Tkachuk again in the slot.
That's Jay McKee who's going to get the penalty. Back-to-back penalties for McKee that has already seen this Vancouver Canucks team bring the fans alive. As Bernier, good heads-up play. No sense in standing away from the net. He gets great positioning, good hands-eye, and then just tips that up and over the glove of Mason. No chance at all for Mason as he didn't see it going through his own man. And then right after taking that interference call, just an outreach stick by Jay McKee. And a veteran player, Stanley Cup finalist with Buffalo, 2 big penalties, Jim, that have changed the momentum of this game.
This as good as the St. Louis Blues have been in the early part of this game. It could unravel for them completely right here.
And this is what playoff hockey is all about, surviving the swings.
They had lots of opportunity. 4 power plays, including a minute 42 of 5-on-3, but couldn't score. And Vancouver now has a power play goal and comes looking for another. So Bernier from Salo is the goal. Daniel Sedin carries the puck in, but he left it behind. Here's David Backes. Forces Salo back. And a hard wrist shot up high on Roberto Luongo is knocked down.
And Jim, the key here is to just stay settled down. You saw Andy Murray talking to his troops earlier about not panicking and getting away from your team game, remembering the things about your game plan that are going to hopefully help you get through this game. That's easier said than done when the crowd's going crazy, though.
TJ Oshie on Kevin Bieksa, poked the puck away and then took it. Pavel Demitra with Matt Sundin and Ryan Kessler. Sundin with an errant pass, taken away now by Jay McClement. He's 1-on-4, drives outside, takes the shot. Luongo stops it. And now back comes Matt Sundin in his Vancouver power play. Alexander Edler up the middle, a tip through. Sundin shoots a rolling puck, missed the net. Kyle Wellwood couldn't track the puck down, and the Blues are able to clear it.
Well, much like the last power play, Jim, it was the Vancouver Canucks frustrated for about a minute 50, but then with 9 seconds left in the power play, scoring that goal.
Ryan Kessler with some speed, stops up, feeds the point. Alexander Edler, Pavel Demitra with a crowd in front. Back to Edler. He looked up and the puck hopped off his stick to center. DJ Crombine chases him. Edler turns quickly ahead to Ryan Kessler, who wanted the puck. He was poke checked by Jeff Wojciechowski. Same scenario. Very late stages of the power play. Alexander Edler, but the Canucks aren't in the attacking zone. Edler was hit by Backes as he dumped the puck in. Wojciechowski's back. Penalty's almost over. The puck is cleared. McKee's back on and doesn't pay for that penalty. Teams are 5-on-5 again.
This is a big shift for the St. Louis Blues, coming off a very important kill. They need to get some pressure and get some of that momentum back on the road in a building that's starting to turn the way of the Canucks.
Vancouver didn't get a shot on that last power play, so it was a good kill, and now the Blues get a face-off in the attacking zone. They've actually outshot Vancouver 13-9. There's the president of the Blues, whose team passed 9 teams to get to 6th. That's unheard of.
Really unprecedented, and very much of the credit, John Davidson talking to the fact that Andy Murray did an excellent job of keeping this team together.
Blues get the face-off. Andy McDonald has the puck. Deep to Chuck. Brad Boy's trying to get open in front of the net. McDonald cycles down the boards for him. Kachuk's a preoccupation around the net early in this game. Mike Weaver in for Kachuk. His centering pass into the skates of Boys. And out comes Mason Raymond with the puck for Vancouver. Gets it deep. Bumps with Koliakovo. Kyle Wellwood with Burrows out front. Matthias Ohlund takes the shot off the glove of Chris Mason. Mike Weaver, who played for Vancouver last season, up the boards, turned over. Wellwood deep, stopped by Mason. Wellwood again makes a move, takes a shot, stopped by Mason again. Although that second save wasn't quite as good. And now there's going to be a Vancouver penalty as Mike Weaver is knocked down and Matthias Ohlund will get the penalty, and the St. Louis Blues will go to the power play. A penalty parade in Vancouver in Game 1. Matthias Ohlund is off for interference. This is the 5th Blues power play coming up.
Well, Jim, you might have thought Ohlund learned his lesson the last time. A little pick there. And then the play down low, Koliakovo slides across and gets it with his second effort. As Kyle Wellwood shows great skill, good patience, but watch the swinging stick of Koliakovo as he's on the ice. And you talk about the big power play, Jim. None bigger in a game. They're on the road for the St. Louis Blues here.
They really need a goal, down 2-0. And quite often, especially in the second half of the season, this power play has been able to get them one. Salo hard around the boards. Wojciechowski held it in only for a moment, shoveled to center. Mason Raymond, Ryan Johnson start the penalty kill with Salo and Mitchell. David Perron playing the point in the power play, leads it to center. He's got Berglund with him, and Backes takes a shot that missed the net. Blues come up with a puck. David Backes. Salo battles hard here. He's had a strong game. Wojciechowski on the other side. Roman Polak kept the puck in. 2 defensemen on this power play, so Andy Murray's changed things up.
That tells me he's not liking too much about his team's game or their confidence. And right now, some impatient shots. Terrible shot by Perron, and not a lot of patience on this power play that, as you mentioned, has been able to get them big goals down the stretch.
Oshie to Andy McDonald. Keep Kachuk down below the goal line. He'll drive towards the net. Stopped by Luongo. Couldn't stuff it in there. Oshie comes in off the blue line. He's checked by Alexander Edler. And Alexander Burrows helps him out by clearing the puck.
Well, one thing you've really noticed about the Blues is they haven't been able to get a real presence in front of Luongo. And you're just not going to have success unless you get those second and third chances with bodies in front.
Kachuk likely to take up position there if they can get possession, but they can't get set up. Rick Rippon clears the puck.
And Jim, they can't get set up, and their power play typically isn't a power play that gets the big shot from the point, which where Kachuk, if he's in front, would become a real problem. Right now, they're trying all the down low cross seam, and it's just not working.
McDonald, Backes, and Boys on the ice. Koliakovo, TJ Oshie up high off the glove of Luongo and in behind the net. Mitchell chopped at the puck. Did it go over the glass on a deflection? Yes, so there won't be a penalty there. 7 seconds to go in the power play. Coming up later tonight, Peter Mansbridge and CBC News, The National. You can also catch an extra edition of The National at 10 p.m. Eastern on CBC News World or anytime at cbc.ca/national. There's a puck deflected off the Blues, so the faceoff will come to the neutral zone with 7 seconds to go in the penalty.
And we heard before Scott talk about the St. Louis Blues feeling like there wasn't anything that the Canucks were doing that would cause them to feel they couldn't stay in it. But what happens is you're looking for something positive to build off of for your own psyche and your own self. And right now, that just hasn't happened in this second period for the Blues.
Here's Alexander Steen. Jay McClement out front at the end of this power play. From the blue line, Polak shot.